between the Denver Broncos and the Baltimore Ravens. The calendar has turned to December, and we're in the home stretch now as we're underway in Week 13. And no run back here, so they'll bring it out to the 25. The drive will commence with a run by J.K. Dobbins. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 11 yards there on the first play from scrimmage.
That was good, tough running right up the middle. And if the defense can't penetrate and make him slow his pace or change direction, that's often the end result.
Right back to Dobbins on first. And some space here. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Well, if they didn't get the wake-up call before the game, they got it right now. 2 plays already in the end zone.
I think of it in boxing terms because whether it's a big shot with your first one or a probing one, a little bit of a jab, the second one was the payoff. That was the big one that landed. 1-2, end zone.
And the kick makes it through, but flags come flying in as well. It appears we're going to get a roughing call tacked on. And they'll accept that penalty. After the roughing penalty on the PAT, they'll kick off from 15 yards further upfield. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. So 1st and 10 here for Wilson and the Broncos at their 25-yard line. They'll start the drive with a run by Gordon. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on 1st and 2nd down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. They keep it on the ground. Again, Gordon. And the big boys up front. They're going to stop him right at the line. Maybe a gain of a yard that time, but from the spot, actually no gain. So 3rd and long. Well, this defense for the Ravens, they were very good in the win last week against Jacksonville.
It was a little bit enlightening talking with the defense coordinator about their performance last week because the feeling was that it was a good, solid performance. They did what they needed to do to get the job done and get the win, but definitely a few lapses that they're looking to correct.
On 3rd down, Wilson. And smartly going into the slide there, Wilson has enough for the first. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Here's a give up the middle. It's Gordon. And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. They'll run it up the middle now. Gordon. And he he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. It's a gain of 6, moves him to a manageable 3rd-and-2 situation.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
3rd and 2, now Wilson. And now the ball's out, fumble near midfield. And it's picked up by the Ravens. And his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line. That's probably bringing back nightmares of last week, isn't it?
No doubt about it. Right now I'm looking over at the coaching staff, and I'm seeing the wheels turning in their heads. And you know what is happening? They're remembering how they started the season in camp, even in the offseason where they emphasized ball security, and they're wondering why the message isn't sinking in.
They have 5 turnovers last week, now 1 here in the opening quarter. So good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line.
On the counter now, it's Dobbins.
And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. Now the Broncos are going to take a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Now it's Jackson.
He'll swing this out to Dobbins.
And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running. It could turn into a big gain downfield, but what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
A nickel set defensively for the Broncos here on 3rd down. They snap it at 1. Now it's Jackson.
That's complete. It's Devin Duvernay.
And he'll only get this to about the 44 as they stop him short of the line to gain. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion. And it'll be 4th down. That will get our first update of the afternoon for the Meadowlands. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. And that will wind up just short. He had it on line. It ran out of gas at the end, and this will remain a 1-touchdown game. All things considered, a pretty good kick, just cruel punishment there to be denied by the crossbar.
If you're going to hit from that distance, sometimes you're going to need a little luck, and unfortunately for him, this time the break goes against him.
Now Gordon on 1st down, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
after the loss to start out. Here's 2nd and 11. From midfield now, here's Wilson.
Albert Okuwebunam, the intended target.
And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. That'll wind up as a loss on the play, so now they're staring at a 3rd down and 12.
We'll see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a 1st down.
Out of the gun. Here's Wilson. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted.
Kyle Hamilton picks it, and the Ravens are going to take over once again at their own 37-yard line.
They're trying to resurrect his confidence. Last week was a disaster. 5 interceptions in that loss, and another pick there.
I played with a quarterback like this before, and he had a tough game, and the head coach said, I'll take him, I'll fix him. The very next game, he started out the exact same way. The head coach turned to the offense coordinator and said, he's yours from now on. Someone has to take responsibility and work with him and try and get him settled.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. After 7-0 on EA Sports. So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11.
Sit up!
Here's Jackson.
That ball caught. It's Mark Andrews, the tight end.
And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. Now Jackson on 1st down.
And that'll be complete to Dobbins.
He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. That's over 40 yards of movement with those last 2 plays.
And I like the idea here. Get the ball in his hands, even if it's in the passing game. 3 catches a week ago, and he does a nice job here to pick up yardage.
On 1st and 10, it's Dobbins.
And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage.
The quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Report!
To throw is Jackson.
Pass on the crossing route is complete. This is Andrews.
And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. Now Jackson taps this forward jet sweep. And from the 9, they get this to the 5-yard line.
That's a nice job there defensively, being able to diagnose that little touch pass. They saw it coming, converged on him before he could get much out of it.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal.
Jackson on the give to Dobbins.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown.
J.K. Dobbins, his 8th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Ravens go up by 2 touchdowns.
Tucker with the extra point, and it's now 14-0. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And job one here, Charles, just keep possession of the football. 2 drives, 2 turnovers to this point.
You're exactly right, Doctor. Hippocratic oath. First, do no harm. And right now, they're harming themselves on offense.
I like that. No one is mistaking me for a doctor, though. But thank you, Dr. Davis. Calais Campbell on the stop.
Now, that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater. He just made a great play there.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10.
This is Gordon as they go to him again. And he'll be tackled at about the 35.
9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled him up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
They go play action with Wilson. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Dafe away. Make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
I know we don't have a special scoreboard to show it, but the offense, they've surrendered more sacks than they have points thus far. This defense, they're winning in all phases of the game right now.
Here's the punter, Martin, out to kick it away. A nice job getting free on the return for 13 yards.
And the Ravens, they'll take over.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going.
It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, they could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But it's the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense, but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control.
On 2nd down, a run with Dobbins.
And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right in midfield at the 50.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. They'll try to run for it with Dobbins. And some solid footwork there as he'll take this down to about the 38.
Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down.
Yeah, another good run there. He's been such a big part of their success here this afternoon. And that last carry, it puts him over 100 yards now for the day.
A give up the middle to Dobbins.
And he'll run straight into a wall of tacklers at the line of scrimmage. It's 2nd down.
He's having a big game running the football, but that one will hurt the yards per carry a little bit.
Yeah, but the average he's got so far, that's the type of average he wants to take with him to contract negotiations, doesn't he?
And a very determined run there as he'll take this all the way down to the 27. Good effort.
Now Jackson taps his forward jet sweep, and maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. So a 5-yard run the other way in the wrong direction, and that leads us to 2nd and 15. Now it's Jackson.
Open man is Duvernay. And he'll be brought down at about the 23-yard line.
Brandon, so many times we see the crossing route start as a quick hitter, but in this play, he had time in the pocket and waited for him to clear going across.
This will be the 8th play of the drive. It's 3rd and 7. Jackson now. That's going to be caught. And in for the Ravens touchdown. Mark Andrews in the final seconds of the first half. And the Ravens will extend their lead here just before halftime. Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and that makes the score 21-0.
So with 3 seconds remaining in the half, they will line up to kick this one away.
And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. Final play of the half. It's Wilson. He completes this to Sutton. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. So we're at halftime here in the Inner Harbor with the hometown Ravens on top. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gunn, getting set for quarter number 3 here. It'll be the Broncos getting the football first in this second half as they trail, and we are back underway. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They look up at the scoreboard, facing that deficit. A 3-score game, Charles, but look, there's plenty of time to go here. The old football cliche that comes to my mind is you can't get it all back at once. They probably need something, though, out of this drive, at least 3 points.
Are you trying to say that there's no 3-score drive on that play sheet for any of those coordinators? They just don't have it, right? You're trying to get it all back. You know you can't get it back in one drive. But maybe cut into it a little bit, as you just suggested. Try and create a little bit of momentum, a little bit of a spark, and then maybe that'll carry over. Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
They'll try and run it. Here's Gordon. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Wilson. Got an open man here, and it's K.J. Hamler. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. And movement by one of the Broncos up front, and in comes the flag. A false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Following the penalty, here's Gordon. And he's going to bowl his way forward to the 48. 4 yards there on the carry, gets it back to 2nd and 11.
That ground game contained again there, Charles, and that's really a big reason that they're trailing right now.
And give a lot of credit to that defensive front. That's exactly what they worked for all week, to try and take away the run game, make them one-dimensional. In the battle of game plans, theirs has been superior.
Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a third down.
Another modest gain there on that one, and I think, Charles, you can probably pin part of the deficit on a failure on their part to really get this ground game established.
Yeah, they've really struggled to be multidimensional in this one, haven't they, partner? Because they have to be extremely one-dimensional now if they hope to get back into this game. They'll have to do it by throwing the football and hope to have success through the air.
Now a shot taken on third down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
Here's Sam Martin now as he'll kick it away for the second time. Now a high kick, almost a pooch punt. And the fair catch is made at about the 27-yard line. So that'll be marked down as a 19-yard punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
They're obviously right now in the driver's seat, comfortably ahead. They've scored on a couple straight possessions, Charles. And, I mean, for them, I guess it's just more of the same, right? Keep doing what you've been doing.
Yeah, it's not typical for us to see games out of reach in the third quarter. Right now, they're unstoppable in this one. And seeing how they just came out onto the field, it does appear like they're done scoring points in this one. They look awfully confident.
Throwing on second down, Jackson. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And that's caught inside the 30. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. This offense, they were dynamic in the first half. The halftime break, that didn't slow them down at all. Big strike here in the third quarter.
It's almost as if they were saying, it's not just our skill in the first half that's getting this done, it's confidence as well. And confidence has taken over this game in a big way. How about these strikes that we're seeing?
Tucker with the extra point, and that makes the score 28-0. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive.
Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here, maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that, because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league where we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. He rifles one that's intercepted. And a terrific return as he takes this thing all the way down near the 20-yard line.
Well, to be blunt, not a whole lot has gone right for this defense in this ball game, but that's something right there. Still in the third quarter. It would take something around miracle territory for a comeback, but maybe that's a start, Charles.
It certainly is, and they're definitely showing that there's some fight still left in them. Hasn't been a banner day, but they're trying their best to put that disappointment behind them and find ways to make plays.
After the interception, here's Jackson. And this is going to be hauled in by the tight end Andrews. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. That puts him in excellent position, first and goal after a gain of 19.
How about the way they're moving the ball down the field? They had a big play a moment ago, followed it up with another nice one here, and before you know it, they're already looking at first and goal.
Now Jackson taps his forward jet sweep, and he'll get in. Touchdown, Baltimore.
Devin Duvernay.
His third touchdown now on the year. And the Ravens will add on to their lead here in the
final minute of the third.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and that makes this 35-0 now. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown.
And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive.
Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. Or win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles. But I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look?
And Wilson's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey.
And the Ravens are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line.
Wow, between last week and this week, that's now 8 interceptions. 5 a week ago, now 3 here.
Well, he is so lucky that one of the defense coordinators I played for, a man named Ken Donahue, is not there right now. Because he saw that happen during his coaching career, and he grabbed a quarterback in the midst of a streak like this and said, tell you what, son, why don't you throw it to the defensive guys, and let's see if our receivers can intercept it.
Well, he's got to figure something out because the current formula's not working. Ndamukong Suh makes the tackle.
Well, from an offensive perspective, that was a tough run because he only picked up 3 yards. But let's flip it over to the defensive side. They now have the advantage. 3 3-yard gains. That means they're punting the ball likely on 4th down. That's what you're looking for when you're playing defense.
On 2nd down, here's the option.
And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. The Ravens on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. Throwing is Jackson. He's going to go deep for Beasley. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. The Ravens send their punter out now. Always a good sign when your first punt comes in the 4th quarter. He punted 5 times in the win last week as this one's away. And this is taken at the 23. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. 34 yards on the return. But for a moment looked like he had a shot to go all the way. And it'll be a short field for the Broncos as they take over 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And he'll take this all the way down inside the 40.
Well, they've got the huge lead. Now they have another interception on the defensive side. Seems like everything they touch in this one, Charles, turns to gold.
And they have to be awfully happy right there to get what appears to be one more for the road and help seal away one of their best efforts of the season.
They'll start with the option.
And he'll get inside the 40 to maybe the 38-yard line. 2 yards the gain on the keeper, and it's 2nd down.
So he is able to turn that into positive yardage, but I think it's fair to say that those are not the shots you're wanting your quarterback to have to absorb.
And he has to know sometimes when to say when. You have to know when to give yourself up, and let's face it, not easy for these guys to do because they're competitors as well. But sometimes you do learn your lesson the hard way, as he did there.
And he's going to be taken down just shy of the 35.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
And a short gain down to about the 33. 3 yards on the keeper, and it's 4th down.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, Most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one because when you run him on short gains, your risk-reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
It's on. No, we change it. Hey, hey. Motion.
They're going on fourth down. It's Jackson. Open man is Bateman. It's complete.
And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. Wow, first and goal, and defensively, all they can do is shake their heads. Not only did they allow the conversion, but a big play as well.
Dobbins. He is going nowhere in a hurry as he is going to lose yardage here in a big way.
Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets him back now for second down.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
Second and goal from the 6 this time.
One more time with Dobbins.
And he gets him a little bit closer. He takes it from the 6 inside the 5 to the 4.
That didn't just feel like good defense there. That felt like pride, didn't it? He's already gotten into the end zone twice, trying to get there for a third time. No one likes to have the hat trick against them.
Middle, middle. Yeah. Come on.
Third and goal, Jackson. Toward the back corner of the end zone, but he could not get the feet down. This will wind up incomplete. Well, their passing attack, even though that one was incomplete, has been really sharp in this one. It's resulted in a lot of touchdowns, and it looks like they're not going to stop throwing the football until the very end of this one.
Well, that will certainly make everyone involved on offense pretty happy because that gives them all a chance to pad their stats a bit. But as far as the actual need, you and I both know they can just run this clock out because this one, it was over a long time ago.
Tucker's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further.
Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
Tucker now following the made field goal, set to kick it away. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive.
Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, both offenses have put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly, I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers wide enough to actually see the result.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. There's Wilson to throw. Being chased out left. 6 yards there off the scramble, but it'll still leave him with a third down.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down.
On 3rd and 1, Wilson. And now here's another interception.
Picked off by Jalen Armour-Davis.
And he will bring this back. It's a pick 6 and a Raven touchdown.
Well, this one was already ugly, and now it's just kind of becoming a feast on the defensive side of the football.
Yeah, partner, this is a unit that knows they've got this game in the bag with this huge lead, and it's going to drive their coaches crazy because they're telling them play it straight, do all the right things, but these guys are going to be freewheeling now. All of them are going to don't take chances, and that one pays off with an INT and a return for 6.
The return man down to a knee, and this will come out to the 25-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here.
And my goodness, another interception.
Picked off by Jalen Armour-Davis.
Yet another mistake after the interception there. And, gosh, you look up at the scoreboard, they just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
On the other sideline, jubilation and laughter. He was unable to shake free there. They'll cover him for a loss of a yard.
And that was well defended. And as a cornerback, what you're taught when you see a wide receiver screen, either you get underneath the play before the blocking forms, or you're going to have to fight your way through it by getting through some blocking. That was a really nice play there.
Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone.
And, oh, it's incomplete. Oh, that would have been 6 points, but somehow he couldn't rein it in.
Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Jackson. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Partner, in the sportsmanship handbook, there's something to be said for calling the dogs off in a blowout. But these defenders, they also know this is the NFL, and it's their job to stop them, whether they're in the game or they're down by a handful of touchdowns.
Tucker's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further.
So they got the turnover, started with great field position, but in the end, the defense able to hold firm, and they only get 3 out of it.
And I like what you said right there. That defense able to hold firm, backed up into the shadow of their own end zone. Goalpost right behind them. They had to make sure they didn't give up the 6. And, boy, they came through in a big way. To them, even though they gave up 3, that's a win for their side.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive.
Well, I hate to say it, but at this point, I don't really know that they're playing to win with this deficit in the 4th quarter. They're just trying to erase that 0 on the scoreboard, Charles, and get some type of momentum to carry into the film section tomorrow.
If you get any type of points on the board, it'll count as a moral victory, although no one will talk about that in the post-game press conference. That's not something you mention in the NFL. And this loss, it already stings and will for a while. But everyone on that offense knows it'll sting a lot worse if they don't put some points up on the board.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now it's Wilson. He's going to let it fly. And now here's another interception. Picked up by Marcus Williams.
And the Ravens will take over here as they get it up to the 43-yard line.
Well, partner, I got to tell you, I'm trying to think of something positive to say for this offense, but I'd have to be a spin doctor for that one. This has been a tough performance to watch.
And I think it's hard at this point to actually identify what's really gone wrong. I guess the catch-all is everything. Doesn't sound like real sharp analysis, but I don't have much else for it.
This is caught at the 20.
And he's brought down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line. For the winning team here, Charles, that's about as big and clean of a win as you could hope for in the National Football League. No turnovers. Meanwhile, you forced turnovers. You didn't allow any points, and you put